Okay, good morning, everybody. All right. So I guess this is a topic that most of us have heard before. So I'm just getting an opportunity to try to do this cover this topic. So
You probably have to speak louder because they'll be singing for the whole hour. On top
this thing
of
is
your
for the
phone,
whole hour.
do you have a mic?
There's a mic here. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
No, he goes no. Joe says no.
Yeah. Okay.
This is time to expand
So-
your voice.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the mic that we usually have here.
Oh, try your
Okay.
natural mic.
Try asking for a lot there. Okay, so as you see, the eightfold path, which is the path of Navina, right? It's comprising of 8 aspects. The eightfold path, although referred to as the steps to a path, all right, is not meant as a sequential learning process, but as the 8th aspect of life, all of which are to be integrated as everyday life. Thus, the environment is creating to move closer to the path of enlightenment. The eightfold path is at heart of the middle way, which turns from extreme and encourages us to seek the simple approach. The eightfold path is right proper views, right proper thoughts, right proper speech, right and proper action, right and proper livelihood, right and proper effort, and right and proper mindfulness, right and proper concentration. So first, the right and proper views. Proper views or understanding is one, the initial steps towards awakening to one's Buddha nature. 2, understanding of the Four Noble Truths. 3, penetrative insight into the true nature of reality. Example, Dharma, the 3 Dharma seals or 4 inverted views. And eliminate wrong views will overcome the 3 poison of ignorance. The 3rd poison, which is ignorance. Right views encompasses observation that leads us away from delusion and wrong views. It is wisdom that truly comprehends cause and effect. It is the right understanding that results from completing phenomena through the 3 Dharma seals, the 4 Noble Truths, and the 12 links of dependent origination. 4 Noble Truths: 1, existence of suffering or dukkha. 2, cause of sources of suffering. 3, the state of extinction. And 3, suffering. 4, the path or way to end suffering. And the 12 links to dependent origination are ignorance, volition, consciousness, name or form. And 5, 6 sense of faculty. 6, contact. 7, feeling. 8, craving. 9, clinging. 10, becoming. And 11, birth. And 12, aging and death. Looking at it from a broader perspective, we can see that all truth of the Dharma is the right view. So, right or proper thoughts. Proper intentions or right thought to be free from evil, hatred, immorality, etc. So, kind and loving intentions and thought transform to compassion and tolerance, or benevolence of non-violence become mercifulness and humanness or empathy. Detachment and unselfishness turns into non-bias or equanimity. 4, elimination of proper intentions, thought, and desires leads to contentment then happiness and joy. So right or proper speech. In speech, while dealing with others, truth is the ultimate. We should not fear revealing to others what we really are. Be authentic in speech. If asked a question, answer said question truthfully. Do not volunteer information that was not asked. This way, truth will be still the ultimate. Consider the person who makes himself angry by his own speech. He reminds himself through triggers. Consider the effort of the following statement. That's not fair. I deserve better. He or she doesn't really care what I think. He or she should be made to do it. Why should I do that for you? You never do this. You'll never do this for me. What you ought to do is, I don't want to. I hate it. The right or proper speech includes action and conduct, livelihood and occupation. Refrain from the 4 vices of speech: lying, abusive words or slander, devious or double talk, and flattery of idle speech. Abstain from the 3 evil conducts of body: killing, stealing, and lust or non-chastity. Avoid 5 trades of occupation: dealing in, instrument of killing animals, slaughter, slavery, intoxication, drinks, and drugs, or basically poisons. Right, proper livelihood. The question should not be whether we are the CEO or an accountant, but whether we are to be centered. One common feature of people of greatness is the passion by which they pursue their interests. So it does not matter what type of profession one does. If it's the right profession, you should do it with diligence. Although they might not do other things well, it is the passion which motivates their lives and gives significance. We should seek enlightenment with their intensity and single-mindedness to overcome this location.
Give an example of the wrong livelihood.
Okay. So right. So right livelihood, like for instance, we should not be a butcher. Right? We should not be in, like, say, Evelyn, no hard feeling, but we should not be in the casino, right? And we should not be like an exterminator, because they're killing insects and so, which is they are sentient beings.
The pesticides over
the right, like you see the planes flying over and spraying that stuff. That's not good too, because there are lots of things dying when you do that. And none of us here will do that, but we shouldn't be things like gangsters, and we shouldn't be selling drugs. We shouldn't be
selling
weapons, those sort of yeah.
Moonlight, like alcohol, like alcohol.
The military? Well, yeah, we could be in the military, but the only problem with it is that if you have to go for war for no reason, because you will be killing people. So, but as the law, the Constitution provides that if you are drafted or called up, you could say for religious reasons that you could decline from going. Yes.
The Army and military will keep a position that. Like your religious prevents you from killing somebody. You give that's
Right, desk job, or you work in a
Yeah,
hospital.
so you
Yeah.
don't have to be a
No,
soldier.
you don't have to
You
be,
don't
yeah.
need frontline
Or they can teach you to be like a medic, right? So you go and help you to help those who are in need. So you don't have to use a gun
Desk
to,
job, like you
yeah,
say, clerical job,
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of
or medic, be a medic.
What
yeah.
about hospitality and gaming?
You can be a chef or cook.
Yeah, well, I was trying to say that early on, but
Well,
that's true.
yeah. The thing is that with that is that people are coming in to actually gamble, right? So it is under that category to say that it's not a good livelihood. So that's why I was saying no disrespect to what you do, but yeah. So yeah, okay. Okay, so right or proper action. Right action recognize the need to take the ethical approach in life, to consider others and the world we live in. This includes not taking what is not given or having respect for the agreement which we make both in and private and in business. That means, so at work and they have supplies, you should not take the supplies from a job because it's not yours, it's not given to you. And naturally, we are cultivators, so we will not go to the store and shoplift. So, and we should actually, those of you who have children, you should let them, if they bring home something that is not theirs, you should investigate and find out and ask them to take it back because it's not theirs. Right. So right action encompasses the 5 precepts which were given by the Buddhas: not to kill, steal, lie, or avoid sexual misconduct, and not to take drugs or other intoxicant. This step on the path also includes whole approach of the environment with right action, being taken whatever possible to safeguard the world for future generations. So, right or proper effort. Right effort to direct our efforts incessantly to the overcoming of ignorance and selfish desires. Attempt to overcome crippling statements such as taking offense as the remark of others. So when someone is trying to say something to you, it's whether right or wrong, whether you believe what they're saying or not, it is important that we take it in a respectful manner and understand what they're saying instead of getting angry or not listening at all. Okay. So steps to the Eightfold Path often mentioned by the Buddhas is right. Association, training for life of the spirit is made less obvious if you can be with others who seek the same thing. As Houston Smith pointed out, health is as contagious as disease. Virtue is contagious as vice, and cheerfulness is contagious of remorselessness. Right effort is vigor, to be diligent endeavors in 4 areas. 1. Consolidate and increase existing good or wholesome qualities. Promote good or wholesome qualities that have not arisen. Discard existing evil or wholesome qualities. Prevent evil or unwholesome qualities that have not arisen. This is the second set of the 7 categories of factors of the 37 aids of enlightenment. 8 efforts can also be described as right knowledge. Some convictions are necessary to achieve a good life. Understanding of the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path is in itself what is meant. Especially noted are the resolution of overcoming suffering by leaving aside selfish craving and instead develop compassion for others. Use a reason to restriction to the middle way of doctrine of the mean to avoid harmful things. Intellectual knowledge is conditioned by concept and principles of a system. The intellectual is inferior to understanding and direct insight in result from seeing things just as they are without interpretation. And consider the futility of reducing a person to the categories as tall, Republican, dark-haired, and so on. Wisdom is the direct apprehension of a thing, not knowledge of label or categories in standard form. If we can make up our mind as to what life's problems are, we can indeed fulfill the conviction that we can be happy. So, right or proper mindfulness. Our imagination makes things more or less than they really are, and it is cause of excessive desire. Our emotions come and goes. We crave things that we just have to have. We need not crave or cling to anything. If we fully understand ourselves and life itself, neither would be a problem. Become aware. Awareness is truth. We must see things as they are, not what we fear or what they will be. Proper mindfulness is awareness of one's deeds, words, and thoughts in 4 areas. Anika, with regards to mind as impermanent. Dukkha, which regards to feelings and emotions as cause of suffering. Anicca, with regards to Dharma as dependent and no self-identity or self-nature. Yeah.
Those are the 3 Dharma seeds?
No, it's so he said here. See, the awareness of one's deeds, words, and thought are in 4 different categories. So yeah. So purity with regards to the body as impure. The first 3 above are the 3 Dharma seals. The first 3 are the 3 Dharma seals, and this is the first set of the 7 categories of factors of the aid of enlightenment. You got it, Jill? You got it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, proper concentration. Since these 8 parts can be put into the categories of precepts, concentration, and wisdom, we can say that the path of cultivation is the 3 vehicles of learning. By following the precepts, we learn to control the body and mind through meditation. Now, meditation here is not meaning that we go and sit and lose ourselves, right? Meditation here is speaking about us letting go of all thoughts and things like that, and introspecting. So this is not the meditation like what you'll find most people doing. So through meditation we learn to unify our mind, wisdom, and attain by the practice of the above, concentration and wisdom. Through this wisdom, all ignorance and passion are cut off, and true state of enlightenment is then realized. Proper concentration or samadhi is to develop calm, non-attached concentration, mind based on the four meditative states: joy, pleasure, form of concentration, feeling of joy, equanimity, and mindfulness. Cessation of pleasure and pain in pure equanimity and mindfulness, to avoid the attainment of wisdom and enlightenment. One must have strong aspiration or zeal to cultivate and attain Buddhahood. Vigorous effort to improve diligent practice and focus. Intense concentration of consciousness. Elevate mindfulness. Intense contemplation or discernment. Develop divine wisdom. Again, these is the three sets of the 7 categories of factors of the 37 aids of enlightenment. So what is right? There is a case where a monk who generated desire endeavors activate persistence, uphold or exert his intent for the sake of the non-arising of evil, unskillful qualities that have not yet arisen. He generates desire to uphold and exert his intent for the sake of the abandonment of evil, unskillful qualities that have arisen. In the Tao there are the 3 jewels: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Regardless of the level of practice, one takes refuge in the 3 jewels each day. The Buddha is often described with the metaphor of the doctor, the Dharma as the medicine, and the Sangha as the supporting caregiver. Underlining this concept of medicine is the Buddha's original or care perception. Dharma teaching, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path is not as simple as we would map out, but having an elevated level. Essence or view of the entire path as concise manner as possible can be very helpful to practice. Okay, so before we conclude, any questions? Yeah.
I mean, earlier, this is very good.
Is this related to the topic?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it really deals with implementation. Okay? I mean, we come and we learn and we talk about it, but when we go out into the real world, you know, like the gentleman was saying, even in the military. So, you know, these are the stumbling blocks that you see that we talk about and we try to practice it, but when we try to talk even amongst ourselves, we still have this blockage that we don't listen all the way, we don't allow, you know, what we're preaching, what we're talking to implement in the real world. That's one word.
I don't understand. I got lost there. I don't understand what the question is.
What I'm saying is the reality of implementing what is being said. That's the reality. But you're teaching a lot of good things, but as far as dealing with the implementation in the real world.
Well, basically all we have to do, we just have to keep cultivating and try to do what the Buddha's asked us to do, learn how to let go. We have to learn how to let, once we could do that, and the more we try to let go, our Buddha nature will come out more. I think lecture Kai was saying this morning that about how a person can know something without being taught this thing, whatever it is. So this can only happen if we learn how to let go and we are not holding on to anything, and we always have this sincere, true taught all the time. So we are not thinking about things that we should not be thinking about. So then our Buddha nature will be in charge. So then this way, those things, whatever those things are, we'll be able to do them or know them. Anybody would like to add?
Just keep in mind that you make the choices. So you make the decisions. If you want to be a butcher, that's your choice, but you have the choice not to be a butcher.
You can be a butcher, but you also have to pay back the karma.
God, yeah.
No, I'm not interested in that's why
No,
I mean,
she's just giving an example of how a person.
You know, like you make the decision as to what you want to do. Okay, but there are certain careers that do causes a lot of karma, and in that incident, you are responsible for the consequences that you.
You understand? So say like a minister doesn't want to feel like he's failing all the time. Okay, so you know, you have the issue of being a minister talking about, you know, you're going to give the good word, you're going to give the good, you know, message, you're going to try to present everything that they can, and then, you know, we're going to go outside and somebody got shot. So, you know, what happened to the good message?
You see, you're but
the minister doesn't want to feel like
you're venturing into things. See, we can't control those sort of things. See, there's something. Even yesterday, I think the news was saying this person was in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's no such thing. Alright? So if the minister was preaching about something and then he goes outside and somebody got shot, the minister don't have anything to do with that. Is that person karma, or you could say fate, to cause that person to get shot?
Reach the person. That's what the real question is. Did the message reach the person so they would refrain from shooting?
Again, it's that person's choice. It was not the preacher.
Even in the same family, parents are teaching the kids the same thing. You don't really expect all kids to grow up the same
Yeah.
you know, very good we say morality or very good career achievement. Simply because the real world isn't perfect doesn't mean that we have to stop teaching. We just have to keep doing it so that we will, you know, keep spreading, and until someday more and more people are, you know, absorbing the you know,
It's God's world, right?
yeah.
So
It's
he's not
different
in
because
control or
not.
Okay, so time's running, right? But many times I'm gonna sort of venture into a place here, but Lecturer Kai is here, so he'll be able to help me if I seems to run off track or thing. But many times I spoke about the 37 Dharma or factor of enlightenment. So I'm going to try to venture into some of that, so in case some people wondering what that is. So the 37 factors of enlightenment, or 37 Dharma of the Bodhisattva, is the phase of accumulation, the 4 states of mindfulness. So Virginia, how do you say Satipathina? How do you say that? Satipathina. So how do you say that, Kai? Is that correct pronunciation?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Okay. So the 4 abandonment or 4 right efforts, again, and Samapadana. Okay. The 4 elements or supernatural power, the 4 roads to Iddhipada. Okay. Okay. All right. So B is the phase of integration, or the sub-phase of integration is warming, summit, or forbearance, the high worldly point. The 5 moral faculty and 5 controlling faculties, or indriya. Right? Okay. The 5 moral powers are bala. And C is the phase of insight or seven limbs or of enlightenment. Okay, and D is the phase of cultivation or the noble eightfold path, and then E, the phase of complete accomplishment. So the phase of accumulation represent the effort that those endowed with potential have to make in the practice of virtue. The accumulation of virtue services to make one mind a suitable vehicle in which realization can arise. Our state of mindfulness, or fourth training or in mindfulness, 4 contemplations. So points out the view of 4 mindfulness is the realization of twofold egolessness or selfishness of self and selfishness of phenomena. In contemplation of the bodies or skanda, SK, not H, SK, yeah, SK, yeah. Okay, skanda, right. Originally, the worldly term we regard the body as pure, and we have vexation on the body as being true or real. In the Sutta Yana or Bodhisavana, right, the body is regarded as impure. Instead of struggling between the purity or impurity of the body, Tantra present the body of mind, manifestation or emptiness. Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, so yeah.
Talk about they are not, you said they're not sequential, right?
Yeah.
But really, one take leads to another, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the proper view that you have the proper thinking,
Yeah.
right? And proper speech and proper contents, and that will lead to, well, not necessarily proper, but
No.
yeah.
In the beginning,
Uh-huh.
in the beginning, at the very basic level, it's sequential. You can say it's sequential because the key is you have to have a proper view or understanding. Because if you don't, everything else doesn't matter. Right? Even if you do the right thing, you still don't know. You don't know why. You don't know what. Right? You don't know. Right? So you have to have the proper view, proper understanding. And at the basic level, the first, right, that's the first path, right? The proper view or understanding is part of that is to obviously not to have the 5 king vices, right? 我见、偏见、邪见、什么进取见、什么什么，there are 5, okay? I mean, there are many more, but that's 5 things. And also to understand the Four Noble Truths. Okay, that's if you understand that life is dukkha, right? Then that's the proper view or proper understanding. Most people don't view life as suffering. They'll just say, I'm happy, I'm rich, whatever. Life is not suffering. It's plus minus, yes and no, some suffering, some joy, pleasure, like that. So that's still resting in that's still being bound by samsara, okay, all right, because you have this duality, okay, all right, and then the Four Noble Truths also talks about that there is a thing called nirvana, right, the thing that we can transcend samsara, and the way to do it is to follow this path, right? So that's the proper view. So that sets the basis for the other steps, right? For the next 7 steps, 7 paths or whatever, right? Right? That sets the foundation. So the key is you have to understand the first one, right? That's why you call it proper view, proper understanding. Once you do that, then you go to the next step, right? Which is then, once you know that, then, you realize that, wait a minute, karma is all created by thoughts. Even not just by my body, by my words, right? But also by thoughts, 3 poisons, etc. So you have to have proper thoughts. Or, right? I mean, that's very basic, right? Okay, proper thoughts, proper, that you want to, what? Get rid of bad thoughts, evil thoughts, immoral thoughts, hatred, etc., right? Okay, all right, okay, and if you could do the first 2 paths, right, proper view, proper understanding, and proper thoughts, well, you already will what? Help eliminate the 3 poisons, right? 3 poisons. One is ignorance, right? The third one, that's the proper view, right? You're no longer ignorant, right? You understand that, there is a path, there's all that stuff, right? Okay? And then the what? Rage, anger, and greed, right? Is eliminated by the proper thoughts, right? Or control, you say control by the proper thoughts, right? If you have proper thoughts, because that comes from your greed, right? You think, I don't have something, I want something, or I want more, or whatever, right? It's all thoughts, right? Initiated from thoughts. Same thing as anger, right? Rage, okay? Okay, so once you get the first 2 right, then the next step is, that has to deal with the internal aspect. It's whatever you say, right? Whatever you say. So that's a proper word, speech, proper speech, right? Whatever we say, right? We have to be careful. We don't lie. We don't slander. We don't flatter. We don't have abusive language, etc. Slander is abusive, right? Okay? Divisive language, okay? So if you could do that properly, that helps eliminate. Remember in the scripture we talked about the 3 karmic conditions? That was last week. I forgot, 3业, right? Yeah, the 3 karmic conditions. One of them is what? Mouth. Deals with the mouth. That's the 4. Yeah, okay? So that's a proper speech. All right? Okay? And then, 身口意. So that's the proper speech. That's the 3rd path. 4th path is proper proper conduct, actions, whatever, right? Proper conduct, action. 正业, 正命, right? Some people call it 正命, 正业, right? That means to do what?正行, yeah, you can say that, okay? That is to do what? You don't kill, you don't steal, right? You don't, whatever. You don't have lust. You don't have lust, right? Those are proper conducts, right? Proper conducts. Okay, so that will deal with the what? the 3rd karmic condition of the body, right? The body. So that you can control that. Okay. So then, if you look at the first 4 proper paths, okay, the first 2 eliminate the 3 poisons, which is the karmic path, karmic condition of the of the mind, right? Then the 3rd one eliminates the karmic condition of the mouth, i.e. cold, right? The lies, slander, and all that stuff, right? And then the 3rd path, what? Your actions, right? Proper actions is right constraint. So the 10 12 is all constrained. It will be, you can say, will be eliminated if you do well, right? The first 4 paths, right there, right? So this is very basic, right? This is all very fundamental. Actually, the higher level, the more advanced level, you do it all simultaneously because they converge. Because the first 2 paths are also part of wisdom. We call that wisdom, right? If you have the proper view, proper understanding, that will nurture or enhance our wisdom. Okay, proper thoughts, the same thing. Okay, and then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th are what has to do with 戒, which is what discipline, precept, etc. And then the last three, 6, 7, 8, has to do with concentration, which is theme, right? So if you look at the Eightfold Path at a very basic level, it has all three elements of what? Of what? Of what? Wisdom, right? Hui, right? The first two. Then the third, fourth, fifth is what? Jie, right? And then the 6, 7, 8 is ding. So that's called the three non-outflow study. Okay, 三无漏学. Okay, so that's why at a very basic level, the Eightfold Path covers the basics, covers all the basics. Right? 三无漏学就是定位界定位. It doesn't matter how you do it, but basically it covers all of it. So initially, yeah, you start from the beginning, and then you go to the ding part, which is much more difficult, but at the more advanced level, they all have to be simultaneous. So have to be 平衡, because you cannot have too much wisdom and no concentration, or you cannot have too much concentration and no wisdom, right? Because if you have too much concentration and no wisdom, 太多定, right? And 没有智慧, it's also called, what is it called? Dead tree samadhi. Anybody know what that is? 死树三昧. 死树三昧. Dead tree samadhi. Right?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, time.
All right.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So so in conclusion, we are within a time. Thank you, lecture Kai. Within a time that will constantly test our compassion. So basically, all that lecture Kai just said, if we don't have right thoughts, compassion is a great thing to. Oh.
They're having that ceremony.
Yeah. More importantly, compassion is the answer that will help save the world. Take some love, add in healing, mix some insight on how we are connected, and a desire to be greater. So become more in the Tao. Compassion is the merging of love, kindness, and healing and insight. Compassion is the process of becoming whole towards a large true nature. Wholesomeness isn't a single thing. It is the college of everything coming together towards Buddhahood. So if I have said anything or made any mistakes, I ask heaven and all of you for forgiveness, and thank you very much.